Welcome back to Python tutorials for complete beginners, from boring people. In this video, we will walk you through how to install Python to your computer, set up the environment to start coding, and download the exercises from GitHub. We are going to do this on Windows, so if you are using a Mac computer, check out the video up here. If you already have Python installed for your computer, you can look into the description section below. We put a timestamp where we start the next part, so feel free to skip ahead if you want. Let's get started. First, let's open up our command prompt. Within the command prompt, let's type this line of code, Python --version, and press enter. If the result is Python 3. A number, you are good to go. If the result is otherwise, for example, Python 2, or something like this, you will need to go to the website python.org/downloads and press the download button here. Simply open this up and install it as any other software. One thing that you should do is click this option to add Python 3.9 to your path. This will allow us to get by without going into the advanced system settings manually. After installing, let's check again in the command prompt. Don't forget to close the previous session, and open up a new one to make sure that the command prompt is updated. You now should see this same result appears here. You just successfully install Python for your computer. Let's open up the Python package. You can see that the Python package provides you with a code editor called idle. You can use idle to code. But let's check out the next part where we walk you through how to set up a more proper environment. Throughout this course, we will install and code on an IDE, which is short for Integrated Development Environment. Integrated Development Environment is a software application that provides comprehensive facilities to coders. Some facilities can be named as code editor, automation tools, or debugger. At the start, even though there is not much difference between using a simple editor, like idle, or using an IDE to code, we highly recommend you to start using, and get yourself familiar with production-level tool like IDE. Sooner or later, you will need to get your hands on an IDE, so why not start early, right? There are many IDE out there, but we will use Visual Studio Code, or as known as VSC, for this course. We know as a beginner, you will be very confused with all these setups. But trust me, you will get used to it very soon, through practice. So let's go ahead and download VSC from the website. Great. Let's open it, and create a Python file. When you open a new file, notice that your file is not a Python file yet. Let's first save this file to our working folder. Then, to make it a Python file, let's add the suffix .py right after the file name. Or, you can choose the Python category for the file. Great. We now got a Python file. Let's test some quick code. To run this code, there are many ways. The most common way is to run the code through your command prompt or terminal on VSC. First, let's open the terminal. Next, you need to make sure that your terminal is in the correct directory. The correct directory should be where your Python file is located. Let's do it by using the command cd, which is short for change directory, and add the path to your directory. You can get the path from here. Now we have the terminal in the correct directory. Let's run the code using the command python, followed by the file name .py. Oops, nothing happens. This is because you have not saved the content inside file, so the terminal is technically running an empty file. Let's not forget to save the file using the shortcut, Ctrl, followed by the letter S. VSC actually gives you a good way to spot an unsaved file. There will be a dot appears here. Notice that the dot will disappear after you save the file. Okay, we are good to go now. Awesome. Although using terminal is the most common way to run code, it will take several steps to get there. At the start, we will have a lot of short pieces of code to run, so let's see how we can save our time by reducing the steps down to just one step. Let's first spend a few seconds to get to know about some features on VSC. I will expand the sidebar and the activity bar of VSC. Let's take a quick tour to these buttons. This first button allows you to open a folder or a file from your computer. This second button here allows you to search for a file in your computer. The final button here allows you to install Python supporting packages or extensions. During our course, we will use an extension called AREPL to quickly run code in one step. Let's open and install it. After installing, you will see this icon on the top right corner. Let's press this button to open the extension and see how we can run our Python code. Let's write a line of code. By default, the code will be executed as you type. But this might be irritating sometimes. If you have not finished typing your code, and the code run as you type, the error message will appear until you finish typing the code. If you don't want the code to be executed as you type, you can open the setting, scroll all the way down to the bottom, change this setting from default to on save. Now, the code will only executed when you save the file. Let's try it out. So write a line of code, and save it, it will be executed. Write another line of code, and save it, now this bug only shown when you save the file. Last off, we highly recommend you to arrange your computer screen like this. Through many studies on effective learning, we learn that the best way to learn to code is to code as you learn. So let's keep one side of the screen to watch the video, and another side to practice coding right on the spot. Let's change the coding layout to make the extension view lie at the bottom of the editor like this. It will save you extra spaces. Also, let's hide these bars to save you a bit more space if you don't need to use it now. That's mainly it. By now, you should already have the best settings to start your Python journey. Last up, let's make sure you have access to the coding exercise. We put the link to download the exercises on GitHub in the description below. Let's go ahead and download the exercises together. Before that, make sure you download Git. Git is a version control system that helps you control different versions of your code. We will go into details about Git later on. If you already have Git installed, you can get the latest development version via Git itself, using this command git clone followed by this link. Once you have Git settled, let's go ahead and download our exercise. Within your command prompt, using the command cd to change the directory to any folder where you want to store the exercises. You can get the path of the directory from here. There you go, you got the name of the path to the directory. Because I store the exercises in this folder called Learning Python, it will look like this. Next, let's use the command git clone, followed by the link to the GitHub repository. Otherwise, you can go the website and copy the link from here. Press enter to run this command. Now, you should have access to all the exercises. Let's open the folder you selected at the beginning to check. We are good to go. Up next, you will get to learn about the very first programming syntax in Python. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and comment if you find this video useful. And subscribe for more future videos.